Well, good morning, all of y'all. And just so y'all know, me personally, I'm kind of a fan of doing things like this. The lights work. Why do the lights work? Well, because I have electricity. Why do I have electricity? Not because the power company's giving it to me, because I'm running my house off my truck. Let me show you how to do this. Now remember, here's your disclaimer. Whatever you do, you're doing on your own. None of this stuff is recommended. This is at your own risk. You screw it up, you own both halves of whatever you screwed up. Don't come looking at me. Like I said before, don't sue me. I didn't tell you to do this. You did this, not me. Just because I do it, don't make it right. That just means I did it. So y'all keep that in mind when you do this. If you broke it, if you blew a fuse, if you melted down a nuclear reactor, not this guy, not him telling you to do this, you do this. So let's get back to the real problem. Now, to run your house on 110, there is one issue. The fact that houses run off of 220. So you kind of have to combat that, and I'll kind of give a little technical explanation on 220 here in a second. But to make it where it's 110, you have to kill the breakers that do run everything that's 220 volts. They're easy to tell when you look at because they're double pole. Now what I mean by double pole or double throw, or there's probably better names than that. If you look at your fuses, all of these, you see they're just one piece, one little thing together. Then when we come down here, these guys are doubles. Double throw, double pull, I don't know. Whatever you want to call them. But they're twice as thick as these. That's the thing to remember about. There are two holes held together with a bar. Something in the middle to put them both together. Now to do this, everything that's a double has to be in the off position. Just like you see here. All of these are down. Well, except for this one. I have a fan that's staying on. But that's my problem, not yours. But all of these fuses are turned into the off position. By doing that, that eliminates the 220 crossover. And then we come down here to the main panel. See that big breaker here? That guy has got to be turned off just in case the power comes back on. And then while I'm out here, I've also got this guy which powers something else. Now this double pole is on. The reason why it's on is it runs down and around to where I have my generator plugged in, or in this case the 110. The 110 then runs down to a plug-in, and the plug-in goes on out to the truck. So now for the truck. Now in my truck, as you see, I have a whole bunch of batteries that are wired together to what's called an inverter. This inverter happens to be a 2500 watt Whistler. It's just the one I chose. There are many different varieties, and I've got it plugged into the extension cord. Now, after running this thing for about, I don't know, I'm somewhere around 9 hours. I know it's upside down, sorry. I'm only pulling 80 watts of power, and I still have 11.4 volts. Now we started out somewhere around 12 and a half, I think 12.6 maybe. So roughly half of my battery bank has been depleted all night, maybe less, I don't know. It depends on the condition of the batteries. This is kind of a trial run for me too, so I'm not sure how long it will actually hold up. So if you don't ever try your stuff, you don't know how long it'll last, well, I'm trying. Let's see how this works. But the cool thing is it did work, and it does work, and it kept the ceiling fans going all night. When I had to get up and go to the bathroom, I could turn the lights on and not stumble and fall and break my neck. And the main thing I liked is I didn't have to hear this guy run all night long. I like a generator, provides the power I need, but to sit there for all night gets annoying very quick. So we got to sleep peacefully. I woke up, I heard birds chirping, and life was good. So what did this mean? Well, it also meant the neighbors weren't mad at me, because they didn't have to hear my generator run either. Because why do I have no power? That little red band there Just bought the place, and the day we bought it, the selling realtor cut the power off. It's a holiday weekend, and I have no power. Yay me. So in this case, the stuff was done out of necessity. I mean, I don't know about you, but I like to sleep with the ceiling fan on. I like to see where I'm going as I'm stumbling through the house. And it just makes life a whole lot more comfortable. I know, first world problems. Wah us. But I tell you what, to be able to get up in the morning, knowing that all the refrigerators were good, knowing that I didn't lose any frozen produce, knowing that any of that was just fine because I had power, great. Now, if you guys have some questions, make a comment. I'll see if I can answer them. I'm not a licensed electrician. I'm just a good old boy who kind of has some ideas on how stuff works, and I make it happen. Now, how does 220 volts work? Why can I only run 110 in the house, yet still provide power to everything up there that doesn't run on 220? Which of course means I don't have a well, so I don't have hot water, but I do have, like I say, lights and fans, and I can plug stuff in. I could charge cell phones. I could do all that stuff. Why do you need the difference between the two? It's simple. When the power comes in your house, you have 210 volt currents. Now they are what's known as AC, which means the power goes up and down as they operate. They are out of phase with each other. That means as one goes up, one goes down. And so they're constantly bouncing back and forth. Now, when you apply them one on each side of a circuit and they come together, that's where you get your 220 volts. How the magic exactly works, I don't know. It just does. It's science, all right? Somebody up here figured it out, not this guy. I just know what they did, and I can make it happen. So when you have things in opposite phase, and you've got the circuit breaker that comes together and puts them together, if I apply 110 on either side of that, it's just going to create a short circuit, and it's going to mess up my inverter, and it's going to blow up some other stuff in the house. That's why all the double poles, cut them all off, and they weren't on. That's the logic behind that. So now you hopefully understand. If you don't, I'm kind of at my limits here. Google it. Play with it. There's other videos, there's other people that can do a whole lot better explanation. I just know why it works, or not necessarily even why it works. I just know how it works and how to get around it. So, like I say, all the double poles off, keep all your single fuses on. You plug in both sides of the panel into one single 110 plug, and by doing that, that provides the power that can run everything in the house. I can watch TV, I can run, as long as I don't overload my inverter, I can do everything in the house I want. And when the batteries in the battery bank get low, I've got my truck set up to where I start it up, I plug in a relay, bam, the alternator now charges the 12 volt batteries in the back, keeps them up. And also, even if I had to run the truck all night long, just the fact that it's quiet compared to a generator, yeah, you can leave a truck idling for 4 or 5 hours and your neighbors don't complain. Leave a generator running at 3 a.m. Dude, enough. So, food for thought there. Anyway, I hope this kind of helped you out. Cloud Kicker, signing out. Here's one thing I did forget to mention. To hook up both of these items, you need a suicide plug. Why is it called a suicide plug? Because if you look, both ends are male. No, this isn't gender specific bullcrap. They both have things that stick out. What does that make them? Male, at least in the electrical world. Now, it's called a suicide plug because no matter which side you plug in, if the circuit is live, that means you have things protruding that you can touch that will shock and fry you. And unless you committed murder and are in the electric chair, not what you really want. So, keep in mind when you hook this up and you touch the ends with the other end live, it hurts. Hence, suicide plug. This is for your safety. Not mine. I know. You need to learn. Take care.